Well, good morning, Delaware County. This is not the host that normally welcomes you in. This is Molly Meyers-LaBadie because Nicole Fowles just had to run to her car.
Yay.
But good morning, Nicole. It looks like you're back.
I'm here.
Well, almost didn't even need you to talk. Look how quick she was.
I know. She
God.
needs me to talk because I think she's out of breath
Well,
there.
now she's out of breath. Yeah, exactly.
You know, she's a career woman, and she's married, and she's got kids.
That's
she
right.
knows how to move.
That's right.
Also, let's add track athlete on there. Let's just do it.
Right. You don't see how winded I am right now. And I will hold my breath so you don't hear how winded I am right now.
You know, that theater training comes in handy, I bet.
It really does. It really does. We know how to put it together. Well, hey, good morning. Thanks for leading us in, Molly.
Hey, that was really fun.
That was really fun. Hey, we've got a special guest in the studio with us this morning, Professor Paul Dean, Professor of Sociology and Anthropology at Ohio Wesleyan University. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're really happy to have you because it's a special week. You have a book birthing coming next week.
Yes.
It's been a long time in the making.
Yes, we're very excited. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. But if you are someone who maybe has a first-gen college student coming into college, you are a first-gen college student, it's all about you in the second half of the show.
Or if you've got a college student who would like to support a first-gen college student friend of theirs, I think this would be great, too. So
I agree. Yeah.
I'm really excited. I've read the blurb like 6 times, being like, this sounds awesome. I want my hands on this book.
It's going to be a good time. Well, let's talk about books.
Let's talk about books.
We're going to talk about books in the second half of the show, but as always, we talk about books in the first half of the show. And I just ran to my car to get my book, so it better be a good one. I don't want to let you down.
You've got the breathy thing going.
I know, right?
Oh.
I'm also, again, the sickness has struck. I don't know.
Nicole,
it's an ongoing
this has not
problem.
been your year with
It
that.
has not, no, and it will get better. I keep saying, and one day I'll believe it.
You will do this. I believe in you.
I know, it's true. But Molly, what did you read this week?
Oh, I've got a lovely book to talk about. Of course, actually, I'm still trying to read Atlas Shrugged. It's taking a while. So luckily, I got a lot of books caught up. So if these talks are a little struggly, they're not fresh. Because that book's going to take me forever. I'm like 16% in, and I'm 10 hours.
I was going to say, you said that you're listening to that one. It's like a 60-hour.
It's like 63 hours, I think.
That's a commitment.
That's a commitment. I'm really doing it just to see if I can. I have to say, I always thought it'd be boring, though. So far, people, hold on for this book talk.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I'm watching a soap opera.
Oh.
And if I think of it that way, like watch it in chunks, like you would like Days of Our Lives or something, or my favorite back in the day, Santa Barbara, like
Passions.
Oh, my children.
So I'll come back with more, but if I look at that differently, it's actually not that hard to read.
All right.
So I'm going to try to take that scary Atlas Shrugged is only for extreme scholars out of everybody's heads. This is a fun book so far, but we're going to talk about one I've actually finished, which is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maehrer. I hope I'm saying Maehrer right.
Those are two of my favorite names, Hannah and Nicole.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like our department.
Our communications department currently.
Yes. So this is the first in a series, and this story is darling. This is a story of a girl who she's trying to find a job. Her dad's sick. She's trying to help raise her little sister, and the only job that she can find is a job working for the village's villain. She is good. She is everything good. She's a hard worker. When she meets the villain, like immediately he kind of is like, yeah, I want you working for me. And she's like, okay, but I got some rules. You can't harm anybody I know. She goes through all these different things. And then she just gets used to working for this really bad guy.
Yeah.
And as it goes on, this may end up with a little bit of romantic tension. This is nothing on the chili scale for this one is like
no chili peppers.
No chili, maybe
Negative.
one chili pepper, because holding hands could be a chili pepper or dreaming of the other, but nothing too spicy. This is just if the world has been heavy for you lately or something and you just want something silly but hopeful, this is her finding out you don't know who the good guys and bad guys are. Because quickly you're going to be like, do I really dislike the villain? I don't know that I dislike the villain, but he does villainous things. Mm-hmm. But I think I like the villain, and the really good guys, I don't know. And as the story goes on, people you think are good might not be. They might be, though. It's all over the place. Mm-hmm. This was just an absolute pleasure. I'd read a lot of really heavy material. Clearly, in between Atlas Shrugs, I'm going to have to
You're
have
gonna
some
need
lighter
some light
stuff.
things, yeah.
Definitely more hopeful stuff.
Yeah, a little more hopeful. And this is going to be a series, too. So if you fall in love with the characters,
good. This
you'll
is book
have
one.
something to go back to as you go through it. So again, this is Assistant to the Villain. It's well written. It may not have enough, well, maybe it even has content if your book club likes that, but it's definitely going to have the fun, playful theme to it.
Nice.
So Assistant to the Villain, Hannah Nicole Maehrer, wonderful book.
That sounds like a lot of fun, and I love that it's the first in the series, too. So you would be able to pick this one up and then go on to the rest. Are the rest published, or they're like to be coming?
I have no idea.
You'll figure it
I
out.
love it when you ask that
I know.
question. I can look that up and
Sorry.
try to be ready in a few minutes.
In a minute or two, sure. While we go on to see, Paul, I think I prepped you, but do you have anything that you get to read for leisure, or anything else that you get to read that you've really enjoyed lately?
Well, I finished a book called Speaking Truths, and it's by a sociologist, Valerie Chepp. And this is about spoken word poets. So I'm going nonfiction route here, but this is
nonfiction's
about
great.
spoken word poets who are young adults who are using spoken word poetry to explore the world and their place within it, kind of figure out their own identity and try to make a positive change out there. And if folks aren't familiar with spoken word poetry, it's a form of poetry that puts it to rhythm and rhyme and uses cadence, and it's very performative. And hearing it and seeing it is really powerful and just absolutely fascinating. And so I actually used it in one of my classes, and my students loved the book too. And they loved it so much that by the end of it, I made space for some of them to try spoken word poetry in the class.
Yeah.
This is not a creative writing class or anything.
Yeah.
And some students who had never done it before went for it, and it was like this very cool teaching moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And the style is you still write it in advance, but the way that it's really meant to be consumed or heard is through the performance, through the spoken word.
I am following several Facebook feeds that have spoken word poets too. So if you're curious about this, go look on YouTube, find some. And once you get into it, you get addicted. Teenagers are still embracing their passions, those younger ages. They can bring you to tears very, very, very quickly in those. They are absolutely gorgeous.
A lot of the poetry in the book is just so moving and inspirational, and you really learn a lot from these young adults.
And we can't stop learning from them. They got a lot to teach us still.
Absolutely.
Have to say it.
It's true. It's true. My kids learned this week that they're doing a Spirit Week this week, and it was Decades Day on Tuesday or Wednesday. Dress in your favorite decade. I'm glad that they chose like 90s. I was like, you can't go wrong with like some bright neon.
Isn't that 80s? Bright neon? I don't remember wearing neon in the 90s.
You can get a little bit into it. You got a little gem going on in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of on the border.
Yeah.
Jim and the Hologram. I think that was 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they were border. If you saw their outfits, you would have been like, yeah, okay, they can pass it.
They can pass it.
But they informed me, my children informed me that the newest generation is, let's see, Alpha?
Yes.
Beta.
Alpha.
Like,
I don't think we have beta yet, but
they said that the people born 2025 to 2039 they've named that.
How can we do that yet? Isn't it about like personality?
I don't know. I googled it and it said that they were right. So
I still take offense at the existence of Zennials because I don't know that I think that's real. So, but I've heard some good arguments. I maybe need to let go of I don't know, because sometimes I fall in that and I'm like, no, I'm X.
But I was with you, Molly. I was like, I didn't think that you could really like set a generation until they had that
It was
kind
shared
of like
experience.
massive like moment. But sure enough, they said, no, the new one has a name. And I said, okay. And I looked it up and the internet said it's right. Now, have I checked my sources? No. Will I research it? Probably not. But if you want to look it up, you have the power in the palm of your hands. Speaking of my children, my book this week, which I ran out to my car to get,
Yes.
is called Jasper Rabbit's Creepy Tales, Troubling Tonsils The words are by Aaron Reynolds, and the pictures are by Caldecott Honor winner Peter Brown.
Oh, this sounds fun.
Okay,
It
now
is-
I'm sitting here. That's not the people who did Creepy Carrots,
It
is it?
is the people.
Is it the people who did Creepy Carrots?
It is the same Jasper Rabbit, indeed, who did Creepy Carrots and Creepy Pair of Underwear. So if you have children in your house who loved Creepy Carrots, Creepy Pair of Underwear, and Creepy Crayon, with Jasper Rabbit and all of these things, this is the next step up for those children who might have gotten a little bit older and are ready for a chapter book now. This is a very easy reader, beginning chapter book. And I picked it up because it's about tonsils. And the illustrations are kind of gross in that same style. It's very noir. It's very black and white. And then you have like gooey pink tonsil font.
I'm loving them. My creep factor
It
is
is-
like,
it
yeah,
is
that's
very-
kid appropriate
I was
creep
gonna
gross
say,
factor.
can you show on Facebook, Mark, the creepy tonsil font? It is rather disturbing. Those are supposed to be tonsils.
Yeah, right up in those tonsils.
So what's happening in this story, it's so cute. Jasper Rabbit leads you in as if you are in the Twilight Zone. So it actually starts with, you have stumbled your way into the unknown, the unexpected. You have arrived without a roadmap at the crossroads where strange and silly meet. And he goes on to kind of give you that little lead in, and then he bookends it. And of course, at the end, after you have like the, oh my gosh, what's actually happening Twilight Zone moment, then Jasper Rabbit comes back out, and he basically tells you like, and that's the end of our story, or is it? And so
Okay, Nicole, officially, after hearing you just read that first part, can I skip all my meetings today and just sit on the floor in your office and have you read the book to me? Because
yes,
that was
I will.
really good.
I will tell you the story about Charlie Marmot. He is a marmot, and he starts as all of us regularly start with the sore throat. And then he worries that his adenoids and his glands and everything might expand so terribly that does he have to cut off his head? What happens next?
Listener, his throat.
It's
like
hilarious,
giant.
yes.
It's like an inner tube
The
sticking
mom
out.
does the mom thing. She pushes all over his face. She's like, "Ooh, I think we need to go see the doctor." They go to the doctor, and the doctor declares that his tonsils indeed do need to come out, and so they schedule the appointment. He makes it to, and let me tell you, the only reason that I checked out this book is because both of my kids have had their tonsils out, and I thought that this would be a fun little, like, what happens when we go to the doctor and get
Yeah.
our tonsils out kind of thing. It
wasn't.
It took such a turn.
It was another kind of fun.
Such a joyful turn. You still get that. So, like, if you do have a kid who is going to get their tonsils out, you do still get that, the prep and the doctor's office and the what's going to happen. But, like, if your kid is a little bit scared, don't read this book to them because it does take a really weird turn that I'm not going to share. Let's just say that Charlie Marmot really wants the doctor to give him his tonsils in a jar so that he can show them off at show and tell at school on Monday. And whenever they get to the surgery, the tonsils aren't there.
Ooh.
It takes a turn. So
The tonsils rebelled.
the tonsils might have had a plane of their own. So
Yeah.
it is so funny. Jasper Rabbit's Creepy Tales, Troubling Tonsils by Aaron Reynolds, your same friends who did all of the other Creepy Pair of Underwear, but the next step up for your early chapter book readers.
Oh, this was a good mix of books today. Good mix. Good job,
Quite the
everybody.
range.
Yes.
It really was. Yeah,
Let's pretend like we planned that.
your potpourri of reading. All right. Well, with that, we are going to take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we will talk with our friend Professor Paul Dean from Ohio Wesleyan University, and we will talk about his upcoming book. So stay tuned. But is there really a better place to be in the fall than a university campus?
Right, yeah. The leaves falling and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It really is the most beautiful place.
It is.
Our campus is very beautiful. And when you were running in here from your car, it reminded me, my office is on the third floor.
Oh, my
and so
gosh.
I get a lot of students coming in out of breath at that
Right.
point up there because there's no elevator in our very old building.
Oh, no. Wow.
That's great. Don't go visit him.
Right? You know. Well, that voice that you just heard was Dr. Paul Dean, Ohio Wesleyan professor of sociology and anthropology. Paul has written a book. It is titled Class Cultures and Social Mobility, The Hidden Strengths of Working Class First Generation Graduates, and it is hitting shelves on November 11th. We're so happy to have you in studio with us today. First, can you just tell us about this book? What is it about, and how will it resonate with first-gen college families?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here to talk about it. So we're all familiar with the story of the American dream, right? And but there's a couple really important details that we leave out of that story that we tell ourselves. First, hard work alone is often not enough to get us out of some difficult economic circumstances.
Yes.
And secondly, even if we're lucky enough to find supportive mentors and people to help lift us out of poverty or difficult economic conditions, that the further we go as we navigate college and the professional world, that the more we can feel like a cultural outsider. So the reality is that class is with us in our everyday lives in so many hidden ways, right? So it's in the way that we speak, which words we use, if we end our sentences with the phrase, you know, how we raise our kids. Middle-class kids are more likely to put middle-class parents are more likely to put their kids in structured formal activities day after day. Working-class parents more likely to give their children room to roam and spend more time with extended family. It's in how we interact with people. And so all of these kinds of cultural norms and expectations that we get used to vary between working class and middle class lives. And so if you're in the working class and you're encountering college or later on into the professional world, you encounter a different set of norms and these unwritten rules that you have to get used to. And so trying to learn these unwritten rules of college life or the professional world can be really tricky. It's like if you got put in a city that you've never been to before and you don't have your phone, you don't have a GPS or a road map, and you got to get from point A to point B, but you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to navigate that place. And so this book is in part kind of looking at that process of what's it like to sort of be dumped in that new city or on a college campus and in the professional world, and then have to figure out how to learn those unwritten rules.
Yeah, wow, that's such a great, even just those little nuances that you just brought up, small manners of speaking, familial relationships, presence of structure or absence of it thereof. I think that's so interesting. You've put a lot of research into this. We talked a little bit before the show. You said 7 years. This has been your work in progress. Tell us about how those 7 years have kind of brought you to this point today.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to, even before this book, I started working directly with our first-gen students. So I'm a first-gen student myself.
Right.
And,
so even a lifetime, more than just that 7 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I should back up and say, if you're not familiar with the term, when we say first-gen students, we mean students whose parents don't have a 4-year degree. And so generally we're talking about, college students who don't have that same kind of support network, or a parent who has gone through the process that can sort of coach their child on how to do it and prepare them for what to encounter. So we're really looking at that kind of cultural experience. And so I was able to teach sections of our first year seminar that were dedicated to first-gen students and really focus on that first-gen student experience. And out of that, I started to shape up wanting to do some kind of project really understanding that cultural and emotional experience of upward mobility, which is my own story, the story of many of my students and friends. And so I had initially gotten together a group of students, that first-gen students, to do sort of a reading group. And out of that came the idea for the project and conducting interviews. And 7 years later through that, finally here now I can have the book in my hand.
Right, right.
Just curious, since you work in a university, if you meet a first-gen student who's struggling, what kind of advice would you give them to help navigate this system?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I mean, the process really starts even before they get to college and so much into college, right? So when I was a high school student, I naively would have never even thought a place like Ohio Wesleyan would have been a place for me, because it seemed like it was much more expensive and out of reach. But the reality is that Ohio Wesleyan can be just as affordable or maybe even cheaper than, say, OSU or a public university. So that's just one thing that it just didn't even occur to me that is the reality of higher education.
And especially now for Delaware students with the program to get students from Delaware
County
to
Promise.
be able to go, the Delaware County Promise. If you don't know about that, we keep doing programs at the library. Come and learn, because it's a great navigation there.
Yeah, and that is for any high school student who graduates from a Delaware County high school with a 3.5 GPA or higher can attend Ohio Wesleyan tuition-free. You have to live on campus, and so there's room and board, but you don't pay tuition, and even if your family earns more than $100,000, there's still lots of financial aid that we offer. But you had asked about sort of when they're here, what does that look like? And so there's a lot of that, that cultural experience that is a foreign world for them. So, for example, first-gen students are much less likely to come to my office hours or another professor's office hours. Working class kids are socialized that when you encounter difficulty, the way you get through it is you buckle down and you try harder and you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? Unfortunately, that doesn't always work as effectively, especially when you're in such a foreign world like the college campus can feel like, right? Their middle class peers are being encouraged, rightfully so, to come talk to professors like me, to talk to academic support staff. So those students are getting more help that they need quicker, which is what we want. We want all of our students who are in need to come to us. So the first-gen students are not necessarily building as quick of relationships with us as professors. If they encounter a difficulty with a tuition bill, they might not know who to go to for support. We have lots of first-gen students sometimes who are even supporting their family back home.
Right.
I have students who are contributing financially to their parents' mortgage, right? These are kids that are really trying to invest in their future, but having so many of these burdens on their time. And then, of course, having to work paid work and do those things are much less time that they can spend on their courses or on getting integrated into campus life. So, asking for help, getting to know your professors, taking advantage of campus resources, and just trying things new. I mean, these are definitely things that I encourage our first students.
Well, and it's definitely something that isn't a small group, and maybe Ohio Wesleyan is unique in this, but Ohio Wesleyan's statistic is that 33% of your student body is identifies as a first generation student.
Yeah.
I mean, a third, 1 in 3 students coming up to you. So, I mean, that's definitely more than just a little.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people are surprised by the national statistics, which it depends on what statistic you look at, but about half of college students nationally are first-gen students.
Yeah.
And so at Ohio Wesleyan, of an institution like ours, a third of our students are first-gen, which is high for an institution of our type. So because of this, we've really invested a lot in the programming that we have to help bring those students along, like I described.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, we have the first-gen student experience course that I teach. We have a first-gen intern program that would take otherwise unpaid internships and turn them into paid internships so they can get career-related experiences. We have a new first-gen a director of first-gen student success hired in the last couple of years, and now we just got a very, very generous $5 million donation to start a first-gen student center that is being constructed right now.
Amazing.
That's going to fund a lot of programming. So this is a hangout space. This is a space to offer workshops like on resumes, about using career-related services, building academic skills, and helping them make those connections to us faculty. So we do a lot of programming to really help those students to succeed.
And that makes so much sense.
Absolutely. Now, you've completely sold me on this book, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Where am I going to need to go so that I can get this when it gets released?
Well, I really hope it'll be at the Delaware County Library, first
I'm
of all.
going to make sure, but it'll take us a little time to get that stickers on it.
Fair enough. So, it's at the usual site. So technically, it's available on Tuesday. So you can find it. The publisher's Rutgers University Press. But I really wrote the book with the idea that I wanted my first-gen students to be able to read it and for it to be engaging and accessible and exciting, and for their families to be able to read it. So it is very story-driven, and but yeah, you can If not through the publisher, it's on the usual sites like Amazon and Barnes & Noble and stuff.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like you've got me thinking now, too. My Aunt Marilyn would have been the first-gen student. She actually went to OWU in the 1950s.
Oh, I love it.
And how she would have affected my mother's experience, who was a much younger sibling. I think it's 12 years. Sorry if I get that wrong, Mom. But like my mom then, when she went to college, would have had Marilyn coaching her.
Yes.
And
You
I've
pass
never
that knowledge on.
I've never thought of that before, like, because they came from working class parents who, were just making it. And now I've got some more questions. So
Yes.
thank you very much for something I should have thought of more before.
Well, they pass that knowledge on, and that's really valuable. But also the people that I interviewed for the book, part of the story, right, is also a lot of the beautiful things about growing up working class and how that has its own strengths. And so
Yes.
we have a lot to offer to that conversation too. But when you get in a space like a college campus, there's a lot of those unwritten rules to learn.
Yeah. In my college experience, I was lucky to be on in a certain program, which was living learning. And there was a mix of us that were first generation.
Awesome.
And I remember, being tutored by some and like being able to reach out to each other. And OWU really has a very similar program set up. So as a whole, I'm really excited about Ohio Wesleyan, if I can give them a shout out.
This is really great. The book again is called Class Cultures and Social Mobility: The Hidden Strengths of Working Class First Generation Graduates. We're going to find a copy for Delaware County District Library.
As soon as possible.
In all the regular places. Shop local, shop big, whatever you shop this book. You won't want to miss it, by Dr. Paul Dean, Ohio Wesleyan University Professor of Sociology and Anthropology. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. This was really fun.
This is a great time. All right. Well, until next week, thanks, Molly and Mark.
Thank you, Nicole.
And we will see you in the stacks.